Alright, so today I'm going to be finishing up my Delta Plastiks Porsche 911 GT2 body. And the wing is a two-piece wing. You gotta take your time. And it has marks to where you can cut it out. You can always take off, you can never add back. Remember that. So take your time and cut it out real nice all around the lines, top and bottom. And then they go together like this. They slip into each other. So now they also include these two screws, plastic screws. So what's going to happen is you can see there's dimples on the body and there's dimples on the wing, and it's going to go mounted right there. And then these two screws will be for the back to hold in here, and then you have two more screws that go through the top, through the front, through the bottom piece into the body. Alright, so what I did here was I drilled the holes a little bit bigger than the holes in the body for these nylon screws, so that I could have some wiggle room to make sure I line it up everything nice and square. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these nylon bolts. I took off the clear protective cover, and I'm going to put these nylon nuts on here, and I'm just going to run them down snug so that I'll be able to position it once I have the whole entire wing on there. Alright, now that I got my holes drilled, I put two other screws that I just drilled a hole on the bigger hole on the outside, and I drilled a 1/16 of an inch screw. I'm putting in here on each side to hold the back together just for a little extra strength. Alright, so now that I got the wing pretty much mounted, I'm going to do this upper piece. And I'm going to try to get it more or less where I want it, at the angle that I want it. Even on both sides. Alright, that looks pretty good there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some tape down here on the bottom, being careful not to move it. I've already pre-drilled the diffuser, so that all I gotta do is mark it to drill the wing. Alright, now let's make sure it didn't move. It's still where I want it pretty much. It's square. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come with the marker in these holes that I already pre-drilled. Try to mark the wing as good as I can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a 1/16 of a hole. And I'm just going to screw in to the wing itself, the diffuser, without no nuts. I'm going to basically Loctite it and make it like a nice tight fit. And hopefully the 80-mile-an-hour wind doesn't rip it off. So now that I got that marked, take off the tape. Got it marked on the bottom forward. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim all the excess off that I don't need, that I've already marked. Around the edges a little bit. Alright, I got it pretty good. Shout out to my friend Christian. He painted the body for me, this beautiful red Duratrax Racing Red paint. And he also did the wing for me. He put a carbon fiber sticker on there somehow. Came out real nice. So now I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to go drill these holes and I'll be back. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these screws. I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite. Make sure I put my wing the right way. I stick the screw through there. And I'm going to screw it into the wing. For right now, I'm just going to snug it down. I'm not going to tighten it. Try to get all 4 of them in here. And then I'll go back tightening them. Before you do this, don't forget to take off the plastic film that protects the wing from painting. If you drill 1/16 of a hole, I don't know what size screws these are, but I drilled a 1/16 of a hole, so it's all basically like a pressure fit. Now I'm gonna snug them down till they stop. I'm not gonna crank on them too much. That's the whole point. I use the Loctite so that it stays in there and I don't have a nut on the back side that would be very hard to put on. They tighten up pretty good. And that's pretty much it for this piece. Alright, once I get the wing mounted where I want, I'm gonna come in here and tighten up these 2 back. I'm gonna tighten up these 2 nylon screws to lock it in place, and then I can mess with the top of the wing. Alright, so now that I got my wing on and I got my stickers on, I got the base mounted, tightened down in the back. I'm going to slip this over the top. I'm going to put some screws in the front. I'll put a little Loctite on these screws. on the nuts on the bottom. I'm gonna put these nuts on here inside. Then I have these two little screws. Put some Loctite on them. And they go in the back right here to hold the back of the wing together. Just gonna snug them down since there's not no nuts on the inside. Now I'm going to snug these ones up here. These have a nut so I can tighten them up much more. You just want to make sure that as it pulls down the wing, that the wing is staying square and nice in shape where you want it. Alright, and she's on there nice and tight. Now you want to make sure that the wing is still square, it's not crooked, it's not cockeyed. Make sure everything's good, lined up, and that's it. If you like the video, like and subscribe to the channel. Check the description for any links of the parts I used. I'm going to try to make more of these videos to help everybody out.